Hi everyone. Today I thought I'd talk about one of the unexpectedly most useful pieces of DJ kit that I bought in the past 10 years. And it's this guy. This is a personal monitor. This particular one is the Mackie SRM 150, but there's also similar products from Behringer. It's really just a powered speaker. There's a AC input at the back. It uses a standard IEC connector. It's a little 5-inch cone, volume control, bunch of inputs. Big whoop, right? Not terribly interesting. But if you've got an entry-level controller, this thing can basically upgrade it into the next tier. Let me explain. You'll plug your entry-level controller into these RCA inputs. So you have one volume knob to control that signal. And if your controller signal level is a little low, well, instead of getting a DI box or getting a powered mixer, you can just turn up the volume here. And then at the back, you've got an XLR through output. This is a balanced output that's going to take that amplified signal and feed it out 150 feet if you want. It's the same cables that you would use for a microphone, which means that it is resistant to electromagnetic interference from, say, LED lights or the phones. And you can feed this to a professional sound system quite happily, and it'll sound great. The other thing that you can do, you can give your controller additional mic inputs. Here I can plug in two mics. I could plug in a mic, I could plug in a guitar, and I could push this button, and now it becomes a guitar input. You can control each volume separately. You can EQ that sound so that it sounds good coming out of these speakers. And because adjusting this volume doesn't change the volume at the back, I've got a separate boost output. And I can adjust this throughout the entire night so that it sounds the way that I need in order to be able to beat match. In fact, this is a great beat matching tool. You'd think a speaker like this doesn't put out much bass, and you'd be right, it doesn't put out much bass. What it does do is a decent job at mid and high frequencies. Now, you might think of studio monitors, which are about the same size, but those tend to have a separate tweeter and a woofer, and those are very, very good at sort of giving you a nice frequency range. But because I have only one cone over here, the high frequencies and the mid frequencies coming out of this speaker are absolutely coherent and precise, which makes beat matching so much easier. Plus, if I'm DJing in a place with a subwoofer, maybe I brought my own, maybe it's just a venue that already has subwoofers, those bass frequencies are going out in all directions. So if the subwoofer's in front of me or behind me, I'm still hearing plenty of bass. It still sounds like the original signal. I just need this thing to be able to give me the snap of the bass or the snare drums or the claps so that I can beat match accurately. 150 watts? Doesn't sound like very much for a big sound system, but for a speaker like this, where it's only putting out mid and high frequencies, 150 watts gets pretty darn loud. You're not using this as a subwoofer, and you don't need to. You could put this on a speaker stand, but if you notice it's not a completely rectangular box, this thing sits on a table and points upwards, right where your ears are. So it's shorter than most laptop stands. Most people don't even realize that I'm using it when I'm using it at gigs. And it just stays out of the way, unobtrusively does its job. I wish Mackie would make a battery-operated version of this. Call it the SRM 150 Go or something like that. That would be really nice. If you're an entry-level controller user and you're thinking, what's a nice little cheap multi-purpose upgrade so that I can put out pro-level audio signals, I can have a separate booth output, I can get an additional mic input that sounds really, really good, I'll consider a personal monitor. Alright? Hope you found this useful. See you around.